The wind howls outside, a relentless predator rattling your windows. Snow piles up, burying the world in a silent, suffocating white. Then it happens. The lights flicker and die, plunging your home into an icy, absolute darkness. The familiar hum of the furnace vanishes, replaced by a profound and chilling silence. Suddenly, your safe haven becomes a frozen trap. Each tick of the clock is a reminder of the cold seeping through the walls, a silent threat that grows with every passing hour. For many, a winter power outage is a minor inconvenience. For seniors, it can be a life or death struggle against the elements. The cold doesn't just make you shiver, it's a relentless force that can be fatal. But what if a few simple, often overlooked items could be your lifeline? We've uncovered the 17 winter survival items that savvy seniors keep on hand. Simple things that can mean the difference between freezing in the dark and surviving the storm in safety and warmth. They know could save your life. 1. The unfailing power of physical currency. When the power grid fails, your entire financial world can vanish in an instant. The unfailing power of physical currency. When the power grid fails, your entire financial world can vanish in an instant. The digital numbers in your bank account, the convenience of credit cards, and the ease of online payments become utterly worthless. In a prolonged winter blackout, the only currency that matters is the kind you can hold in your hand. This is a hard truth that seasoned individuals understand deeply. They know that relying on a system that needs electricity to function is a fool's game when survival is on the line. Cold, hard cash is not just a backup plan, it is the primary tool for commerce in a world plunged into darkness. The ATMs will be dark, the card readers at the grocery store will be dead, and your phone's payment app will be a useless icon on a blank screen. Without physical money, you are entirely dependent on the charity of others, a position no one should willingly put themselves in. Hoarding cash isn't about paranoia, it's about pragmatism. The key is not just having money, but having the right kind of money. Seniors who prepare for these situations don't just stash away a few $100 bills, they stockpile small denominations, 20s, 10s, 5s, and a significant roll of singles. This isn't a random choice. Try buying a loaf of bread or a gallon of water with a $100 bill when the local shopkeeper has no electricity to make change and a line of desperate customers behind you. It won't happen. Small bills are for transacting, for making practical, necessary purchases without hassle. You need to be able to pay for exactly what you need and move on. This foresight is what separates those who can navigate an emergency from those who are paralyzed by it. Storing this cash is also a matter of strategy. It's kept in fireproof tins, secure lockboxes, or other hidden yet accessible spots. The goal is to protect it from both disaster and theft, ensuring it's there when every other system has collapsed. In a crisis, this cash is your lifeline to food, fuel, medicine, or even services from someone with a generator. It's the ultimate barter tool, universally accepted and undeniably powerful when all else fails. 2. The reliable glow of thick wax. Modern technology has given us countless ways to illuminate the dark, from powerful LED flashlights to long-lasting battery-powered lanterns. Yet, in a true extended winter power outage, these devices reveal their critical flaw. They all depend on a finite power source. Batteries die, and when they do, they are often difficult, if not impossible, to replace when stores are closed or sold out. This is why those who have weathered serious emergencies don't just rely on electronics. They turn to a timeless, simple, and brutally effective solution: thick wax candles. We are not talking about the scented, decorative novelties you find in gift shops. We are talking about substantial, long-burning, unscented pillars of wax designed for one purpose: to provide light and a bit of heat for hours on end. These are the emergency candles, the survival candles, the ones that prioritize function over form. The value of a simple wax candle in a blackout cannot be overstated. It offers more than just light, it provides a focal point, a small flame of normalcy in a chaotic and frightening situation. The soft, steady glow can be profoundly comforting, cutting through the oppressive darkness and restoring a small measure of control. Beyond the psychological benefit, candles generate heat. While a single candle won't warm a room, a few of them burning in a contained space can raise the ambient temperature just enough to take the edge off the biting cold. Experienced survivors know how to maximize this effect safely. They often place candles inside large mason jars. This simple trick, serves multiple purposes. It protects the flame from drafts, reducing the risk of it being extinguished. It contains the heat, creating a small radiant source, and most importantly, it significantly reduces the fire hazard by shielding the open flame. Unlike a flashlight that you must point, a candle illuminates an area, allowing you to perform tasks with both hands free. It is a steadfast, reliable tool that requires no batteries, no charging, and no complex parts. It just works. 3. The practicality of instant crystal. In the depths of a winter emergency, when the cold has settled deep into your bones and your home is a frigid shell, the value of a hot drink is immeasurable. It's not just about hydration, it's about internal warmth, psychological comfort, and a much-needed jolt of energy. While gourmet coffee beans are a luxury for normal times, in a survival scenario, they are impractical. You need a grinder, a specific brewing method, and time, all luxuries you don't have. This is where the humble jar of instant coffee proves its undeniable worth. For those focused on pure functional preparedness, instant coffee is a non-negotiable staple. It requires nothing more than hot water to transform into a steaming cup of warmth and caffeine. It's fast, it's efficient, and it delivers exactly what is needed with minimal fuss. Seniors who hoard for winter emergencies don't just buy one jar, they buy in bulk. They understand that a power outage might not last for a few hours, but for days or even weeks. They rotate their stock, using the oldest jars first, and replenishing them annually to ensure the coffee doesn't clump or lose its potency. This isn't just about having coffee to drink, it's about having a versatile resource. Some even mix the instant coffee granules with cocoa powder and sugar to create a survival chocolate mix. This can be eaten dry for a quick, morale-boosting energy hit, or mixed with hot water for a comforting mocha-like beverage. It's a small trick, but these little comforts can make a significant difference in maintaining mental fortitude during a prolonged crisis. The placement of this resource is also strategic. It's not just in the kitchen pantry. Jars are stored in car emergency kits, in go bags, and in secondary storage locations. The logic is simple. A disaster might force you from your home, and having access as something that can provide warmth and alertness, no matter where you are, is a critical advantage. 4. The unbeatable insulation of wool. When your furnace dies and the temperature inside your home starts to plummet, the single greatest threat to your life is hypothermia. The cold doesn't just make you uncomfortable, it actively leaches the heat from your body. In this fight for survival, your choice of clothing becomes a matter of life and death, and no fabric protects you better than wool. While cotton may feel comfortable in normal conditions, it becomes a deadly liability when you're trying to stay warm. Cotton absorbs moisture, whether from external dampness or your own sweat, and holds it against your skin, dramatically accelerating heat loss. Wearing wet cotton socks is a fast track to frostbite and hypothermia. This is a fatal mistake that the unprepared make. Seasoned survivors, however, know the truth. Wool is king. The properties of wool make it the ultimate survival fabric. Unlike cotton, wool fibers are naturally insulating and can retain up 80% of their insulating ability even when wet. The fibers have a natural crimp that traps air, creating a thermal barrier that keeps your body heat in and the cold out. Furthermore, wool is moisture-wicking. It pulls perspiration away from your skin and allows it to evaporate, keeping you dry and therefore warmer. This is why those who are serious about winter preparedness hoard wool socks. They don't just have one or two pairs, they have a stockpile. They understand the importance of layering, wearing one pair during the day and swapping to a fresh, dry pair for sleeping. This simple act can dramatically improve your ability to stay warm through a freezing night. These socks aren't just kept in a drawer, they are stashed everywhere. In coat pockets, in car glove compartments, and packed tightly into every emergency kit. A pair of thick, dry wool socks can be the difference between a miserable, dangerous night and a safe one. They are a fundamental tool in the battle against the cold. 5. The indispensable tool for canned sustenance. In a world reliant on electricity, the simplest tasks can become impossible challenges during a power outage. One of the most overlooked and critical failures occurs in the kitchen. The inability to open food. Your pantry might be stocked with canned goods, soups, vegetables, meats, and fruits, a veritable feast for a survival situation, but without a functional can opener, it is nothing more than a collection of sealed metal cylinders. The sleek, countertop electric can opener you use every day is now a useless piece of plastic and metal. This is a brutal reality that many will face, staring at shelves of food they cannot access. For those who prepare with a serious mindset, this is a non-issue. They understand that dependency on any electric-powered device is a vulnerability. The solution is simple, ancient, and utterly reliable: a sturdy, manual can opener. It requires no electricity, no batteries, and no complex mechanics. It relies on one thing: human power. The wisdom of the prepared senior is not just in owning a manual can opener, but in their strategy around it. They don't have just one, they have multiples, stashed in strategic locations. There is one in the main kitchen drawer, of course, but there is also a backup in the basement pantry, another in the car's emergency kit, and a compact P38 or P51 style opener on their keychain or in a bug-out bag. This redundancy is not paranoia, it's a calculated plan against loss, breakage, or being caught away from home when a crisis strikes. Furthermore, these are not flimsy dollar store models. They are heavy-duty, time-tested designs, often made of thick steel, built to last a lifetime. These tools are tested too. At least once a year, they are used to ensure the gear still turns smoothly and the cutting wheel is sharp. A tool that fails when you need it most is worse than no tool at all. In a prolonged winter outage, when your body is burning calories just to stay warm, access to the dense, preserved nutrition in canned food is an absolute necessity. A manual can opener is the key that unlocks that vital sustenance. It is a fundamental piece of gear that stands between you and starvation. 6. The finite power of stored energy. In the sudden, oppressive darkness of a power failure, your first instinct is to find a source of light. Your next is to get information. Flashlights, portable radios, and weather alert systems are the essential tools for navigating the immediate aftermath of a blackout. They provide safety, situational awareness, and a link to the outside world. However, every single one of these electronic devices is powered by a common, finite resource: batteries. Without a substantial and well-managed supply of batteries, your modern survival gear is nothing but a collection of dead plastic. The most powerful LED flashlight is useless without the AAs or Cs that bring it to life. Your emergency radio, which could provide life-saving information about the storm's duration or rescue efforts, is silent without its 9 volts. This is a critical point of failure that the truly prepared do not overlook. They know that batteries are a form of stored energy, and in an emergency, energy is life. Serious preppers, particularly seniors who have seen it all, approach battery storage with meticulous discipline. They don't just have a few loose batteries in a junk drawer, they maintain an organized, comprehensive stockpile. They hoard all the common sizes, AAA, DA, C, D, and 9 volt, in quantities that far exceed casual need. These batteries are kept in dedicated, organized containers, often plastic cases that prevent the terminals from touching, which can cause them to drain or worse, create a fire hazard. The rotation of this stock is rigid. Every year or two, older batteries are cycled into regular use and replaced with fresh ones, ensuring the emergency supply is always at peak charge. Leakage is the enemy of preparedness, and this rotation prevents the corrosive damage that can destroy both the batteries and the devices they are meant to power. For critical devices like flashlights and radios, batteries are often stored alongside them, sometimes even taped to the device itself. This simple trick eliminates the frantic search in the dark for the right size and ensures the tool is ready for immediate use. In a winter storm, when your smoke and carbon monoxide detectors become your last line of defense, having a fresh battery could be the single most important item in your entire home. 7. The unfailing guide of printed lines. Our modern world navigates by satellite. GPS is embedded in our cars, our phones, and our watches. We trust it implicitly to guide us from point A to point B. But what happens when the systems that support this digital navigation fail? During a widespread long-term power outage, the cellular networks that feed data to your phone will go down. The GPS satellites may still be orbiting, but the devices you use to access them will run out of power. The in-car navigation screen will be blank. In that moment, you will be geographically blind, especially if you are forced to evacuate or travel on unfamiliar roads. This over-reliance on a fragile digital infrastructure is a critical vulnerability. Those who have a true survivalist mindset understand this and prepare for it by keeping a tool that never fails. A paper map. It is a technology that has worked for centuries and will continue to work when every screen has gone dark. A seasoned survivalist's map collection is not a random assortment of tourist handouts. It is a curated strategic resource. They possess detailed state and county road maps, topographic maps for rural areas, and street-level city maps. These are not just tossed in the glove compartment, they are protected. Many are laminated or kept in waterproof plastic cases to shield them from the water damage that could render them useless in a winter storm. But simply having the map is only the first step. The real preparedness is in how it's used. These maps are often pre-marked. Alternate evacuation routes are highlighted in different colors, bypassing major highways that will likely be jammed and impassable. Key locations are circled: hospitals, potential shelters, friends' homes, and natural water sources. These annotations turn a simple map into a personalized survival plan. It is a physical document of a plan B, C, and in a crisis when you are under immense stress, you do not want to be trying to figure out a new route on the fly. You want to follow a pre-planned path. The paper map provides that certainty. It requires no power, no signal, and no subscription. It is a reliable, tangible guide in a world where all digital certainties have vanished. 8. The simple power of sugared fuel. During a high-stress survival situation, your body is under immense strain. The cold, the uncertainty, and the physical exertion of tasks you are not used to performing all burn an incredible amount of energy. Your metabolism goes into overdrive as your body fights to maintain its core temperature. This rapid depletion of energy can lead to fatigue, poor decision-making, and a dangerous drop in morale. In these moments, you need a source of quick, efficient fuel. While a full meal is ideal, it is not always practical or possible. This is where a simple, often dismissed item becomes an invaluable survival tool: hard candy. We are not talking about sugar-free, dietetic versions. We are talking about pure, simple, sugar-based hard candy. It is a compact, stable, and immediate source of calories and glucose that can make a significant difference when you need it most. Those who plan for the worst understand the multifaceted value of this simple item. They stockpile bags of basic, long-lasting hard candies in various locations. They are in coat pockets, car consoles, desk drawers, and every single emergency kit. The reason is simple: it's a quick energy fix. Sucking on a piece of hard candy delivers a rapid shot of sugar into the bloodstream, helping to fight off fatigue, stabilize blood sugar, and provide the mental clarity needed to perform a critical task or make a sound judgment. This can be especially important in a cold weather scenario, as the sugar provides the quick calories your body needs to generate heat. Beyond the physiological benefits, hard candy is a powerful psychological tool. The simple act of having something sweet can provide a moment of comfort and normalcy in a chaotic environment. It is a potent morale booster, particularly for calming frightened children or reassuring an anxious adult. It's a small taste of a world that isn't frozen and dark. Unlike chocolate, which can melt, or other foods that can spoil, hard candy is incredibly stable and can be stored for years without degradation, making it the perfect emergency ration for your pocket. 9. The essential barrier for your hands. In a winter survival scenario, your hands are your most critical tools. You will need them for every task, from shoveling snow and splitting wood to making repairs and administering first aid. Protecting them is not a matter of comfort, it is a matter of preserving your ability to function. Frostbite is a swift and brutal enemy, and wet hands in freezing temperatures are a direct invitation for injury. While thick winter gloves are essential for warmth, they are often bulky and can become soaked, rendering them useless or even dangerous. This is why the truly prepared keep a massive supply of disposable vinyl gloves. They are a thin, waterproof, and incredibly versatile layer of protection that the unprepared almost always forget. They weigh nothing, take up almost no space, and can be the difference between functional hands and frostbitten, useless appendages. The utility of vinyl gloves in a cold weather crisis is immense. Worn as a liner under thicker work gloves or mittens, they create a waterproof barrier that keeps your skin dry even if the outer layer gets soaked with snow, slush, or water from a burst pipe. This is a fundamental principle of staying warm: dryness equals warmth. By keeping moisture away from your skin, you prevent the rapid heat loss that leads to frostbite and hypothermia. Furthermore, these gloves protect your hands from the grime, contaminants, and potential injuries that are rampant in an emergency situation. Whether you are dealing with unsanitary conditions, handling fuel, or cleaning up storm damage, a pair of vinyl gloves keeps your hands clean and safe from cuts and abrasions that could easily become infected when normal hygiene is a challenge. They are disposable, meaning you can perform a dirty task, peel them off, and have clean hands instantly without wasting precious water for washing. Seniors who hoard these don't just have one box under the sink. They have boxes in the kitchen, in the garage, in the car's glove box, and packed into every emergency kit. They understand that in a crisis, you will go through them quickly. Protecting your hands is not a luxury. It is a core survival mandate. Without the use of your hands, your chances of surviving plummet. 10. The unfailing spark of combustion. Fire is a primal necessity in a winter emergency. It provides heat, light, the ability to purify water, and the means to cook food. It is a psychological comfort and a physical lifesaver. However, creating fire in extreme cold can be incredibly difficult. Standard butane lighters fail when their fuel gets too cold. Ferro rods require practice and fine, dry tinder that can be impossible to find in a snow-covered landscape. This is why those with real-world survival knowledge rely on a more fundamental and dependable tool: strike-anywhere matches. These are not the flimsy safety matches that require a specific striker strip on the box. Strike-anywhere matches, with their distinct red and white tips, contain the chemical phosphorus sesquisulfide, allowing them to ignite with friction against almost any rough surface. A rock, a zipper, a brick. This versatility makes them vastly superior in a chaotic, unpredictable environment. Pragmatic survivors don't just buy a box of these matches and toss them in a drawer. They treat them as the critical life-saving equipment they are. The primary enemy of a match is moisture. A damp match is a useless stick of wood. To combat this, strike-anywhere matches are meticulously waterproofed and stored. They are often kept in small metal waterproof tins or plastic containers with tight sealing gaskets. For an extra layer of protection, the tins are sometimes wrapped tightly with electrical tape, creating a nearly impenetrable seal against humidity and direct water exposure. This isn't just a one-time preparation. The stock is managed. Annually, a few matches from each container are tested to ensure they still ignite reliably. If they show any signs of degradation, the entire container is replaced. This rigorous approach ensures that when a fire is desperately needed, the tools to create it will function without fail. Having the ability to create a spark, to bring forth a flame in the biting cold, is a fundamental power. It is the power to fight back against the darkness and the cold, and it rests on the simple, reliable chemistry of a strike-anywhere match. 11. The analog lifeline of human connection. In an extended blackout, the digital address book on your smartphone becomes completely inaccessible. The device will be dead, its screen a blank, black mirror reflecting a world without power. All those names, numbers, and addresses, your entire network of family, friends, neighbors, doctors, and potential sources of help, vanish into an electronic void. You may remember a few key numbers, but under stress, even those can be hard to recall. This absolute reliance on a fragile piece of technology is a catastrophic weakness. When the digital world disappears, you are left isolated and unable to reach out for aid or coordinate with loved ones. For this reason, those who are genuinely prepared for disaster maintain a physical, handwritten record of their most critical contacts. A simple notebook and a pen become one of the most powerful communication tools you can possess. The foresight of an experienced senior goes beyond simply jotting down a few phone numbers. They maintain a comprehensive analog database. This notebook contains not just names and cell phone numbers, but also landline numbers, which often continue to work when cellular networks are down, physical street addresses, and even email addresses, for the possibility of intermittent power at a shelter or other location. It's a multi-layered contact strategy. There isn't just one copy of this book. A master copy is kept in a secure place at home, while smaller condensed versions are stored in every car, in coat pockets, and inside every emergency bag. This redundancy ensures that this vital information is accessible no matter where they are when the grid fails. It allows them to walk to a neighbor's house if a phone line is down, to use a working landline at a friend's home, to call a relative in another state, or to provide an emergency responder with the contact information for their doctor. It's a simple low-tech solution to a high-tech problem. In a world plunged into silence, this handwritten list is your megaphone, your link to the human network that will be essential for your survival and mutual support. 12. The all-purpose metal sheet. Aluminum foil is one of the most common items in any kitchen, used for cooking and storing food. In a survival situation, however, this simple roll of thin metal transforms into one of the most versatile and valuable tools in your arsenal. Its properties: it's reflective, waterproof, malleable, and heat-resistant. Give it a staggering range of applications that go far beyond the kitchen. The unprepared see a roll of foil, the prepared see a signaling device, an insulator, a makeshift container, and a repair kit, all in one. Stockpiling heavy-duty aluminum foil is not about being ready to bake. It's about having a multi-purpose material that can solve a dozen different problems when conventional solutions are unavailable. Its utility is limited only by your ingenuity. In a winter emergency, one of foil's most critical uses is reflecting heat. A sheet of foil placed behind a candle or lantern, or on a wall behind a person, will reflect a significant amount of radiant heat back into the living space, making your limited heat sources far more efficient. This same principle can be used for personal warmth. Wrapping a layer of foil around your feet before putting on your socks and boots creates an effective radiant barrier, reflecting your body heat back to your skin and providing a surprising amount of insulation against the cold ground. If you are lost or need to signal for help, a crumpled and then re-flattened piece of foil becomes a highly effective signaling mirror, flashing sunlight for miles. It can be molded into a makeshift cup or bowl to hold water or food. You can form it into a disposable tray for cooking over an open flame, keeping your food clean. It can even be used for repairs, wrapped around a leaky pipe or used to patch a small hole. Seniors who are serious about preparedness don't just have a single half-used roll. They have multiple, large, heavy-duty rolls stockpiled in their pantry, garage, and car, recognizing that this unassuming kitchen staple is, in fact, a jack-of-all-trades survival tool. 13. The ultimate adhesive problem solver. In a world where things are breaking, falling apart, and failing, you need something that holds them together. During a winter storm, the forces of wind, ice, and extreme cold will test every part of your home and gear. A window pane can crack, a pipe can split, a boot sole can separate, and a glove can tear. In a normal world, these are inconveniences that can be properly fixed later. In a survival situation, they are critical failures that require an immediate, effective, and reliable solution. There is no single product more suited to the brutal pragmatism of emergency repairs than duct tape. Its legendary versatility is not a joke, it's a core tenet of preparedness. The gray, sticky fabric-backed tape is a universal problem solver. Those who are unprepared may have a half-used roll somewhere in a junk drawer. Those who are serious about survival have a stockpile. A prepared individual understands that duct tape is not just for taping ducts. It is a suture for a broken world. A cracked window leaking precious heat can be sealed instantly, creating a barrier against the biting wind. A leaking pipe can be temporarily patched, preventing water damage and preserving what might be a limited water supply. A tear in a winter coat or glove, which would otherwise let in deadly cold and moisture, can be sealed, restoring the integrity of your protective gear. The sole of a boot flapping loose can be bound tightly back into place, keeping your foot protected and dry. Its uses are nearly infinite. It can be used to create makeshift cordage, repair a tent, fletch an arrow in a deep survival scenario, or even create a temporary sling for an injured arm. The strength of its adhesive and the durability of its fabric backing make it an incredibly robust tool. Seniors who have lived through decades of making do with what they have don't just keep one roll. They buy it in bulk, storing rolls in the kitchen, garage, car, and every single emergency kit. Some even keep different colors, not for decoration, but for organization, using specific colors for specific types of repairs. In a crisis, you don't have time for elegant solutions. You need solutions that work, right now. Duct tape always works. 14. The power of cordage and fiber. In any survival situation, the ability to tie, bind, lash, and haul is fundamental. Whether you need to secure a tarp for a makeshift shelter, drag firewood back to your home, or create a pulley system to lift a heavy object, you will need cordage. Without it, you are severely limited in your ability to manipulate your environment. Relying on finding vines or other natural materials is a fool's game, especially in a winter landscape buried under snow. The prepared individual does not leave this to chance. They maintain a substantial and varied supply of rope and paracord. This is not just a single clothesline in the basement. It is a strategic assortment of different materials, thicknesses, and lengths, each chosen for its specific strengths and potential uses. This stockpile represents the ability to build, repair, and secure your world when it's trying to fall apart. The distinction between different types of cordage is important. Thick, heavy-duty rope, often made of nylon or polypropylene, is essential for tasks requiring significant strength. This is the rope you use for hauling heavy loads of firewood, securing a large, wind-whipped tarp over a broken window, or even for potential rescue applications. It must be strong, abrasion-resistant, and reliable. On the other end of the spectrum is paracord, specifically military-grade 550 cord. On the surface, it's a thin, lightweight, and incredibly strong rope, but its true value lies in its construction. A single length of paracord consists of a woven outer sheath and, typically, 7 to 9 inner strands. In an emergency, the cord can be gutted, and these inner strands can be used for a multitude of delicate tasks. A single inner strand is strong enough to be used as a fishing line, a suture for closing a wound, a thread for sewing ripped clothing, or a trigger for a snare. One 50-foot length of paracord can yield hundreds of feet of usable, high-strength thread. Knowledgeable survivors store their cordage properly, coiled neatly and kept dry, to prevent rot and degradation. They understand that a simple length of rope is one of humanity's oldest and most versatile tools, and in a winter crisis, it is an indispensable lifeline. 15. The technology of safe hydration. You can survive for weeks without food, but you will last only a few days without water. In a winter power outage, this becomes a critical problem. The pumps that supply your tap water will fail. While you may be surrounded by snow, consuming it directly is a terrible idea, as it lowers your core body temperature and can contain unseen contaminants. Melting it is an option,